Hi, I'm Teddy and you are watching Top Review. Subscribe to our channel to see more reviews in future. Everybody loves a big bowl of ice cream, and what could be better than homemade? Ice cream makers have grown increasingly popular over the last few years. You can use them to make sorbet, gelato and frozen yogurt, as well as soft ice cream. That's why we have rounded up our selection of the best ice cream makers. The 5 best ice cream makers. Cuisinart electronic ice cream maker. We like. Opening for adding ingredients. Automatic and manual modes. Built-in timer. We don't like. 24-hour freeze time for bowl. Loud. Heavy freezer bowl. The chrome finish of this ice cream maker would be right at home in any modern kitchen. It's sleek and tall, but still narrow enough to tuck into a corner. The freezer bowl is the heaviest component, so if you leave that in the freezer, the actual appliance isn't too heavy to store on a high shelf. Unlike other ice cream machines, you don't have to take the top off this model to add ingredients as it thickens, a definite plus. And the entire lid is transparent for quick check-ins. The buttons and timers on a kitchen appliance can be your best friend or worst enemy. On this machine, Cuisinart keeps it simple with a start and pause button and modes for sorbet, gelato, and ice cream. The up and down arrows are for setting the timer, and the pause option is helpful for adding ingredients without resetting your timer, a feature many other models don't include. Each dessert preset has its own pre-programmed timer, and the coolest feature is the slightly slower churn on the gelato setting. This process is one of the hallmarks of genuine gelato. To set your own timer, choose a setting based on the desired churn speed and simply adjust the time. Once the preset mode or manual timer finishes, the timer starts displaying negative numbers. The instructions say you can churn your mix in the machine for up to 30 minutes, and the appliance will alert you every 5 minutes. However, we found it beeped more frequently than that, so we set the timer for another 30 minutes. To avoid making frozen butter, we stopped churning about halfway through. The result was fluffy soft serve that hardened into lovely ice cream after a few hours in the freezer. The machine is supposed to turn off automatically if the mixture gets too thick, but we didn't let our ice cream overmix. Some online reviewers claim to have problems with this feature, but we didn't experience any. Breville Smart Scoop Ice Cream Maker. We like. Ready in a few minutes. 12 hardness settings. Keep cool feature. Adjustable alarms and volume. Easy to read screen. We don't like. Warms rapidly when the cover is open. Large and heavy. High price tag. Many ice cream makers have chrome finishes, but stainless steel is a rare feature. The bulk of this machine houses the compressor, which chills the ice cream chamber. The top boasts an easy-to-read screen surrounded by buttons. Make no mistake, at 30 pounds, you need some decent upper body strength to carry this appliance. It also takes up a lot of counter space. Choose where it will live wisely. Once it's placed, you probably won't want to move it again. Pressing the little megaphone button cycles through different melodic or beeping alarms, all of which have adjustable volume. Any mid-range ice cream maker should be able to make sorbet, gelato, frozen yogurt, and ice cream, so it's not surprising to find these options on the Smart Scoop. But using the softer to harder knob allows you to choose softer ice cream or harder sorbet instead of a one-size-fits-all preset. The only downside is there isn't a slower churn setting for gelato. The backlit screen flashes between elapsed time and the current chamber temperature, which you can change to Fahrenheit or Celsius with the press of a button. You can also manually set the time using 2 arrows above the screen. Pressing the little megaphone button cycles through different melodic or beeping alarms, all of which have adjustable volume. The machine also dings when it's time to add ingredients, and there's a pause button that allows you to do so. There's even a silent mode in case you want to make ice cream while your family is sleeping. The pre-cool and keep cool buttons respectively accelerate prep and help you avoid crystallization, so there's less of a rush to get your ice cream in the freezer. The lid opens to allow for adding ingredients, it also locks into place and doesn't fly off when the churn gets real. Yes, that really happens with some ice cream makers. Hamilton Beach 4-quart ice cream maker. We like. Lightweight when empty. Pretty large capacity. A budget buy. We don't like. Loud, obnoxious operation. Requires a lot of ice. Can't make small batches. This ice cream maker may not be the most attractive machine, but it definitely seems durable. If you don't mind lugging around extra ice and rock salt, it would be a great option for RV camping. There's a bit of a learning curve when it comes to attaching the motor, because it needs to snap perfectly onto the bucket, the spatula rod, and the canister cover. Once it all clicks into place, you know you're good to go. While the ice cream maker itself is comparatively small, and the canister and cover are freezer-ready, they're a bit large for the average freezer. We would have had to lay the canister on its side or remove the shelf to fit, so instead we transferred the sherbet gelato hybrid into an empty ice cream container prior to freezing. With the canister in the center of the bucket and the cover securely in place, we layered ice and rock salt around it as directed. Tip: use an ice scooper or gloves. Once you're finished, fill the canister with your ice cream mix and attach the motor. No buttons here, just plug and play. The instructions suggest placing the bucket somewhere with good drainage due to condensation and melting ice, but we found this to be unnecessary. There were no counter puddles, even after running the machine for twice as long as recommended in a 75-degree home. This ice cream maker is honestly a steal, especially considering it can make a gallon of ice cream. As ice cream makers get more expensive, their capacities often get smaller, with some high-end models making less than 2 quarts. However, the trade-off for a low price is loud, obnoxious operation and a trip to the store to get rock salt and ice cubes. Cuisinart Mix-It in Soft Serve Ice Cream Maker. We like. Excels at making ice cream and sorbet. Controls are easy to use. Stops automatically if motor overheats. Thorough manual with many recipes. Excellent customer service. We don't like. Doesn't dispense smoothly and consistently. Lots of parts and crevices to clean. Canister requires pre-freezing. Kids in the house? Consider this pink machine that dispenses delicious soft serve right into cones or bowls and even has 3 built-in dispensers for sprinkles, nuts, chips and the like. Vanilla ice cream and peach sorbet came out smooth, thick, and delicious in tests, but we found that there is a bit of a learning curve to dispensing, particularly if you want perfect swirls. This machine can be tricky to clean and it's on the tall side, too, something to keep in mind if under-counter or cabinet storage is at a premium. While most of our ice cream maker picks can dish up a decent soft serve, this machine excels at it. Plus, it has a few bells and whistles that make hosting an ice cream social even more enjoyable. The soft serve maker is fully automatic and can make 1.5 quarts of ice cream, or about 10 to 12 servings at a time. Like the other Cuisinart model on our list, you will need to freeze the inner bowl before making your soft serve, which means if you want to make 2 different flavors, you'll have to have 2 different freezer bowls. The best part of this model comes when it's time to serve up your ice cream. It basically turns your kitchen counter into an ice cream parlor with a cone holder that fits both flat-bottomed wafer cones and pointy sugar cones. To serve, simply press on the lever just like you would a commercial soft serve machine. You can also add in your favorite toppings and mix-ins thanks to the 3 dispensers on the side. Finally, once you're done dishing up your soft serve, this model is easy to clean with a removable drip tray. Just be warned that it is a bit on the heavy side at 15 pounds, so you'll want to be careful when moving it around. Nostalgia 4-quart electric ice cream maker. We like. Quiet for a bucket-style machine. Make lots of ice cream. Portable. Budget. We don't like. Slow freezing. Slow cleaning. The Nostalgia Electric's 4-quart ice cream maker makes a gallon of ice cream, and for an ice cream maker its size, it is rather quiet. In fact, during testing, we were surprised at how much quieter it was than other ice cream makers we reviewed. This nostalgia model works best with pre-chilled ingredients and plenty of ice and salt. You place these items in layers in the bucket that surrounds the canister, which holds the ice cream ingredients. If you don't layer the salt and ice correctly, the ice cream mixture ends up as more of a thick liquid than actual ice cream. Because of the machine's design, it's hard to check the ice cream's texture. The ice piled in the outer bucket blocks your view of inside the canister. And if you're not careful, salty ice cubes can easily fall into the mixture when you attempt to remove the paddle from the canister. The consistency problem is easily solved by leaving the aluminum canister in the freezer for a couple of hours so it is extremely cold, instead of following the manufacturer's recommendation of letting it stay in there until it's cold to the touch. Another solution is extra churning and letting the ice cream freeze for an hour or two afterward. If you have any leftovers, the storage container comes with a handy lid and end cap to keep your ice cream fresh and frozen. This is the largest ice cream maker we reviewed. Thankfully, you don't have to store any of its components in the freezer long term. This ice cream maker's size makes it harder to clean than its competitors. You can also subscribe to our channel for more future reviews and ask any questions in comments.